Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome another edition of September pennant race edition of Extra Innings. It's been a few weeks, but we are back. I had a little technical problem, so that's why I'm a couple minutes late here. It's basically Sully Squad meets Extra Innings, Dave.
You know what, Joe? I like it. I got to be honest. Sully Squad eats extra eggs. What a title.
Yeah, there we go. We're combining forces tonight, right? So
There we go.
but anyway, yeah. So it's Dave. How are you? First off, how was your Labor Day? Do anything good?
Actually spent some time at the pool with the kids. Had a good time, And of course, today the kids went back to school. So everybody's back to school. Hunter got his first grade teacher today. He's excited about that. My daughter's in 8th grade. She's doing her thing. She's in softball right now. She's at practice. So other than that, but the weekend was good. I had a Sunday draft on for fantasy, and then we spent we spent the day at the pool yesterday. So it was a good weekend. How about you, sir?
Yeah, same thing, really. I mean, for I've had my son. I had my son all week. We went to this up in Doylestown. They have this really cool Polish fest. It's at the Our Lady of I can't pronounce the last name, but it's like at this a big like it's at this like shrine, but they have all these vendors and music and stuff. So we did that Saturday, and that was really cool. And it was funny because they have guys dressed in like war stuff, and my son loves history. So he's talking to some of the guys, and they some of them had German helmets and stuff or Polish helmets, and he's sitting there oh, that's a German helmet, and they're and then he was bringing up facts, and they're oh, how do you know that? He just follows it, you know what I mean? So that was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
And then Sunday was my draft, you know what I mean? And
hey, Joe, if your kid's into that history stuff, take them up to the Renaissance Fair, man. That's a great time. I mean,
yeah, that's probably in the cards. Yeah, I think we're going to do that.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, we try to go every fall. It's always a good time. Yeah, the only thing is going Saturday or Sunday, it does get hot there though. I got to give you, it does get warm at times when you go up there. So just dress for it,
Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, I love I love this time of year. I mean, this time of year. First off, weather-wise, the time of year is great. I mean, it starts getting a lot of these days. It starts getting in the 70s. It's a lot more comfortable. The mornings are comfortable. I mean, I've been going out for runs in the morning. You know what I mean? It's nice, 60 degrees. You're out there. It's nice and comfortable. Go for a nice run. So great time of year. Now it's funny because you said with school going back. When I was a kid, I hated this time of year because the summer ended. But we got to work anyway, so fuck it. You know what I mean?
Exactly, I totally agree. But like I said, Faith can't sleep till 12 anymore. So there's her summer days are done. And Hunter's up at 6 anyway, so it doesn't matter. So they're ready to go. We're ready to go. Hey, it's baseball. It's football. This is the best time of year, Joe. It really is. I mean, everything's happening at once, so you got to keep track.
College football. I mean, the other night, what was it? You had some good college games. You had Penn State, West Virginia. Georgia, Clemson. I think some people thought was supposed to be good, but Georgia boat raced them. And then you had USC, LSU. So there was some
I was just going to say I watched the USC game. It was a good game. I did watch that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Florida. Florida State. I mean, Florida State was crying. Last year with the fact they didn't make the bowl and they were undefeated, and then this year they come out they're 0-2. So, but that's not really fair though, because some guys left. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really a fair comparison. But
I agree.
A terrible start. So
hey, nothing can be as terrible as the Chicago White Sox, Joe. Really?
Yeah. Well, did you see? Supposedly they had 17 people in the stands.
I read that yesterday. I was stunned when I read that. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
That blew my mind when I saw that. I'm like, "That." Can you imagine being the 17 people at that game? I mean, personally, me, I would have went because I love baseball so much. I wouldn't care.
Well, think about it. Kevin V's bar in Shameless has more than 17 people.
It's crazy.
Actually, strike that. Frank Gallagher's house parties had more than 17. You know what I mean? I mean, you might have a couple crack addicts passed out on the you know what I mean, or down the basement or something like that. But they had more than 17 people. You know what I'm saying?
You know, Joe. Like I said, when I read that, I was like, I thought it was a joke, to be honest. And I was like, is this? I mean, is that legit? I mean, really? Is it really legit that 17 people actually went to that game? I mean, come on.
Yeah, you know what's ironic, because like when we did the show last year, the AL Central was so trash that I used to rip the AL Central every single week. Dude, you realize the AL Central, as I'm looking at it right now, hang on, let me make sure I'm not wrong. only division in baseball, the AL Central with oh no, I'm sorry, the NL East only has 3. AL Central is the only division in baseball where there were 4 teams over 500 at this point of the year.
That's the only division? Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. You got the Guardians at 79 and 59, the Twins 75 and 62, you got the Royals 75 and 64, and even the Detroit Tigers, who I'm going to go out on a limb now. Now they're not going to make the playoff. You know, for them to make the playoffs this year would take. I mean, they'd have to go on a hell of a run. Okay, right. But I'm going to make a prediction that next year they're a team to watch. The Tigers, they have some young talent. They might be next year's Royals. You know, the Royals kind of came on this year. The Tigers could be that team next year.
So it's amazing. Like you just said, 4 out of 5 teams in that division are over 500. Oh my gosh, poor White Sox.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily the best division in baseball, because, you know, I mean, in my opinion, the best division in baseball is probably either the AL East or the National League West. I mean, you look at the National League West, you got the speaking of the AL East, Toronto Blue Jays just hit a 2-run homer on the Phillies, so Toronto is up 2-1 on Philadelphia. Gary Varsho went deep center field.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me Vlad.
No, Gary Varsho. He's got all of. I think they said I think it's his second homer of the year, so he's not exactly a power fiend.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say NL West is probably the toughest division, because you got the Los Angeles Dodgers, #1 power ranked team in baseball. You know, and then you got San Diego Padres 79-61, and you got the Diamondbacks. Well, the Diamondbacks are the team that probably no one wants to see in October.
Arizona is dangerous, Joe. They are a dangerous team, and I agree with you with that. They really are dangerous. I mean, didn't they just take one from the Dodgers too?
They may have. I mean, they've cooled off a little bit. I mean, they were red hot a couple weeks ago. They're only 5-5 in their last 10, and they're 6 out in the West. I mean, the Dodgers. Yeah, you kind of look at it right now. What is it? September 3rd. Dodgers are 5 up, San Diego 5 and 6 up on the Diamondbacks. Boring a lot of head-to-head losses and a little bit of a collapse. The Dodgers are probably going to hold on to that division. You know what I mean? But Padres and Diamondbacks, you know, as 2 wild cards, a little scary.
This is true.
So, but yeah, we'll get into some standings. You know, I'm looking at some of these stat leaders. And I'll tell you, you know, one thing that sticks out to me, especially because I look at this AL East race, and, you know.
You're in the AL East race. I'm into the wild card. I am so into this wild card National League. I think it's amazing. I just do.
Well, actually, when you look at it, you know, with Atlanta losing 3 out of 4 to Philadelphia, Atlanta's only a half game up on the Mets.
On the Mets, yes, exactly.
The Mets are there. And how about the Chicago Cubs coming out of nowhere? Cubs 71 and 67. They're 10 out in the division, so they're fucked on the division. But
right,
8-2 in their last 10. They've kind of it might still be a little tough for them though, because I mean, think about it. They're not that great of a team, and they've already gone 8-2, and they're still about 4 games, 3.5, 4 games out.
Yeah.
So, you know, they may not make the playoffs, but they might have at least they got a puncher's chance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the Diamondbacks aren't far from San Diego. If you look at it, Joe, I mean, it's really like it's tight, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm looking at some of these.
I mean, that number one seed is not guaranteed right now for San Diego, if you think about it, Joe.
No. I mean, right now you look at the wild card. You got San Diego sitting like you said, the first spot. Diamondbacks right behind them by a game, and then you got Atlanta, the Mets, and then you got the Cubs.
Right.
Cardinals 69 losses. Cardinals 500. That's going to be tough for them. Giants with 70 losses. That's tough for them. So really, you think about it. There's three wild card spots. There's 4 real legit teams that are within 3 games, and then you got the Cubs that are about four, a little bit back. So really, I would say you probably have 5 teams that have a legit shot at the
I agree.
Spots.
I think the Mets get in, Joe. Something's telling me. I don't know what it is. I don't want to say Atlanta's going to get out of it, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how it's going to work out. I really don't know. I mean, how close it is, Well,
I'll tell you one thing. I mean, I know the Phillies took 3 out of 4 from Atlanta, but in a playoff series, and I know they're banged up, but I kind of, with all our left-handed bats, with the Phillies left-handed bats, playing Atlanta, if the Phillies, and what's weird, second series in a row, the Phillies haven't seen Sale.
No, this is true.
Two straight weekends.
They missed. Well, he pitched the series before he got to the Phillies, and he won that game, if I recall.
Right. I know, but I don't know. I mean, that surprises me a little bit. If I'm Atlanta, don't you think if you were Atlanta, with it when you're playing a division team and it's a 2-game swing and they came in 5 games out, wouldn't you think maybe you might want to have Sale pitch in one of those games because it's a 2-game swing? I
didn't think Fried pitched that bad against the Phillies. Honestly, I mean,
well, I'm not talking about over Fried. I'm just talking about in general. Although then again, you know what though, all their pitchers pitch pretty decent.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, you figure. And who we can't hit the one. Fried we struggled against.
Schwellenbach, Fried, and I believe it was
the Lopez. Is it Lopez?
Lopez. Yes.
Christ, I mean, we can't hit a medicine ball off of him, bro.
Well, he's beat the Phillies twice. I think he beat them twice, didn't he?
Yeah, that John dances all over the place, man.
Yes.
So, I'm looking at.
But if you look at the other side of it, Joe, I mean, honestly, Nola and Wheeler pitched they pitched well against Atlanta. They really did. I mean,
pitched extremely well, and Sanchez didn't pitch too terribly.
No, he did okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking in the NL Cy Young race, if you look at the ERAs, Sale and Wheeler are kind of neck and neck as far as ERA, and then wins wise, Sale has 15. So I mean, so if you
he's our best pitcher right now.
Yeah, and then NL, he's pitching really well.
Yep.
Then I'm looking at some of these other stats. How about the year out? How about Aaron Judge? I mean, Aaron Judge with 51 home runs, 124 RBIs. Now, Bobby Witt Jr. is having a great year, too. Bobby Witt Jr. leads the league in hitting. He's hitting 338, but Judge is right behind him at 326. So, I mean, you think about it, Aaron Judge is 12 points away batting average-wise from a Triple Crown.
Yes. He's having an MVP season. There's no doubt about it. I mean, to me, I think hands down.
I don't think there's any way. It's a shame because Bobby Witt Jr. is having a great year, but I don't think there's any way you could take the MVP away from Judge.
No, not at all. I mean, it's definitely his to lose. I mean, I don't see him losing it. I really don't.
And then in the NL,
I got to go Ohtani, but that's just me.
Yeah, so the NL, you got to look at Ohtani, and then I'm looking. I always like to try to take a look at some of the rookies of the year. AL Rookie of the Year race isn't nearly as exciting as the NL. Like the AL, you got Colton Cowser of Baltimore.
Mhm.
He's probably the favorite. He's hitting 246. He's got 20 homers, 60 RBIs, 772 OPS. And then you got a catcher but from the Yankees, Austin Wells. He's hitting like 251, 12 homers, 42 RBIs. That's okay. But, he's a catcher.
For a catcher, it's good, Joe. Think about it.
Wow. So Toronto is now up 6-1 in the bottom of the first. Phillips just gave up another home run. Well, so Phillips is doing his Taiwan Walker impersonation. So, all right, well, might as well turn this joint off.
It's still early, Joe. Give it time.
Yeah, and then you got Louis Gill, pitcher from the Yankees. He's 12-6. He's 12-6. 3.39 ERA, 144 Ks, and he's got I can't read my writing. It says something 1.20 whip. I don't know. I could have fucked that up. Well, whatever whip is, a 1.20. I got a comment here.
Comment. There you go.
Stacy Northrup says, "Hey guys, Judge is the man. He definitely is. What a great player. I mean, he's one of the all-time. He's tell you what, man. A couple more years like this, he's an all-timer.
Stacy, I have to agree. Judge is actually he's killing it this year. He's having a great season, and so is Ohtani. I mean, both of them are just having great MLB season. It is what it is.
So that's some of the individual stuff, and then you got the National League Rookie of the Year. Probably a four-way race. The headliner right now, Jackson Merrill, center fielder from San Diego Padres.
That kid's killing it, dude. He's he's really doing well. I was watching the other day. I mean, highlights all over the place for this kid. It's amazing what this kid can do.
Yeah, he's hitting 291, 21 homers, 79 RBIs, 816 OPS. Then you got, of course, the phenom, Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is 8-2, 2.23, 136 Ks, and 134 Ks. I'm sorry. Again, my writing blows. 109 innings pitched, 0.95 whip, so he's killing it. Then you got a guy, Jackson Chourio from the Milwaukee Brewers. Now he came in the league very, very highly touted. I think he was like one of the top prospects in all baseball coming in the league. And he hasn't been disappointing, Dave. I mean, he's hitting 278, 18 bombs, 67 ribbies, a .789 OPS. And then the last guy's your guy, bro.
Who's that?
Shota Imanja? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay. You know what's funny? My Apple just said, sorry, I can't do that. I guess my Apple Watch can't say his name.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, he's 11-3, 3.14, 148 Ks, 146 innings pitched, 1.05 whip. So there's
Imanaga, Joe. Imanaga.
Imanaga, yes. I got another comment here. Stacy Northrup says Ohtani is on fire as well. Yes, he is. And as a Phillies fan, I'd like to see him cool off a little bit because I'd like to find a way to get that 1 seed.
Yeah, Joe, that's definitely up in the air with those two teams, Dodgers and the Phils right now. Who wants that 1 seed is the question. The Dodgers won it because the Phils do get it. That means the Phillies own the tiebreaker over the Dodgers, so Dodgers are going to hang on as much as they can.
Well, and to be honest with you, I'm more concerned about the Milwaukee Brewers right now. The Phillies are only a half game up on Milwaukee for the 2 seed.
Oh, so you see Milwaukee in the rearview mirror? Okay, I see you. Okay.
Well, and the Phillies have a huge price, man. This kid couldn't even get through the first inning. What the fuck? But anyway, Phillies have a big 3-game series with Milwaukee coming up in like 2 weeks, I think.
Is Reese looking forward to that or what, Joe?
Yeah, well, you know how I stand on Reese. I was really hoping that they could have convinced Bryce to play right field one more year because I
don't think his arm could do it, Joe, honestly.
Well, Yeah,
I don't think he has the arm to make that throw. Like I mean, come on, Castellanos is playing actually really well in right field right now. So I mean, not losing Rhys Hoskins is a big blow to the Phillies. I'll say that, but then again, the way Cassie's been playing, it's it is what it is.
yeah. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying, it's a shame. It's a shame they couldn't have made it work because offensively they would have been much stronger. Having
Oh,
25 to 30 bombs and all the walks and about 70. Then Reese is good for what, about 85 to 95 to 100 RBIs. You know what I mean?
well, I think the problem was, Joe. Honestly, I mean, I hate to keep swelling on this, but it was all about Schwarber. I mean, it was either keep Schwarber at DH or Hoskins, because you knew the left fielder, Schwarber wasn't playing left field. Was going to happen. So I think they depended on Schwarber instead. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. See, as bad as Schwarber is in the field, to be honest with you, I would have been all right with putting his ass out there a bunch of times and just keeping that stick.
Okay.
That's just me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like, I know defense is extremely important, and I know particularly Saturday night. I think Rojas had a really good catch. I think he saved a home run or something like that. Or maybe it was Sunday. It was one of those. I forget exactly what night it was, but I think it was Saturday. But anyway, Rojas made a really good play, saved a run. And, I mean, he's great in center, you know what I mean? And Marsh.
That catch he made at the wall, Joe, that was amazing.
Yeah, right. But that being said, I mean, how often does that shit happen? You know what I mean? Like,
Harris made the same thing on the same game.
That's true. No, but you know what I mean? As far as like, I guess what I'm saying is, for every great defensive play that you have or big defensive play you have, your batter's up 3-4 times a game. You know what I mean? So it's like, you kind of want to have that slugger, unless the guy literally can't even catch the damn ball.
Well, it's funny, Joe. I mean, I'm watching Hoskins out in Milwaukee. He seems like he's doing really well out there, and he's having some fun. So, I mean, I know they're winning, so he's got to be doing something right?
Yeah, I mean, he's playing really well. Look, I don't want to say I got into it, but I made a comment about Hoskins, and it was funny. This dude came at me on like Facebook or something, and he's like, I know. I said, they miss Hoskins 25 to 30 home runs. And he's like, he's not even going to come close to that this year. Dude, meanwhile, I looked, he had 20. And now I'm looking, now he's got 23. I'm like,
23.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? He's going to have 25 to 30 by the season ends.
Well, I think Milwaukee's pretty much. I think the division's pretty much theirs at this point. They're 10 games up, so I don't see them blowing that. Coming into the month of September, I'm not seeing that.
No, they ain't blowing that. So yeah. So we'll see what happens there. All right. So we went over some of the wild cards. Let's break down these divisions because I know we.
Actually, Joe, I got some news for the MLB news. I did some notes today.
Okay.
And I saw some interesting things that might, maybe, get our viewers going. I don't know.
Okay.
I did hear that Cody Senga, Joe, is hopes to come back and pitch for the Mets. If they're still in the wild card race at that time, about September 25th, that's what he's planning on coming back. I think that's huge for them, Joe. It really is, because if the Mets hang on, I mean, they could always use an extra pitcher.
Well, and you know what, and I mean, I think our man the Batcave is on tomorrow morning. If you want to check out, it's Wednesday mornings, correct?
I believe it's Wednesday at 9 or 10, something like that.
Okay, yeah. So, So I mean, but anyway, so make sure you check him out, especially Mets fans. But the bottom line is, the Mets. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Mets, and just the fact that they are in contention, I think, is good for them. You know what I mean? So even if they don't get in. Just the fact that they're in contention, they're playing some meaningful baseball in September, and that owner's got tons of money, and he I know they were looking to rebuild, but he may change his outlook. This offseason, he may say, hey, you know what, we already are almost in the playoffs. I'm going to go sign a couple guys.
And for your Padre fans out there, Tatis is back in the lineup, Joe. He's back in the lineup. He's playing right field. What a time to come back! Great time for him, right?
Yeah, well, they can use them because they're right in the heart of that wild card race.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're right there. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So let's
if you're a Cardinal fan, Joe, if you're a Cardinal fan, Paul Goldschmidt is not going to retire. He's going to play. He's going to play one more year. He wants to finish out that 5-year contract.
Who's not retiring?
Paul Goldschmidt, Joe.
Oh, okay. Well, shit, the money he makes. I mean, tell you what, though. I mean, if I was making that kind of money, man, you'd have to burn the suit off of me. You know what I'm
Yeah, his
saying?
contract's pretty high. I got to agree with that. His contract is pretty high.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, oh, hey, what are you thinking about playing next year? And I'd be like, what, y'all are giving me like 25 million? Yeah, I think I'll play. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. Yep.
So, all right, well, let's break down these divisions here because we got a little late start, so we're running a little behind here.
And last thing I got to bring out, if you are a Texas Ranger fan, and I know they're not having the greatest season this year, they are the World Series champs. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year because they're not playing well. But there is a silver lining to this. Jacob deGrom, Joe, going to pitch Saturday for the Rangers.
Okay.
So,
well, now you talk about a guy. I mean, that's a damn shame about Jacob deGrom. I mean, what a great pitcher and what a great talent, and he just can't see. He's almost like Major League Baseball's like Joel Embiid.
yes.
You
Correct.
know, I mean, every time he's out there, he pitches. I mean, he's like, his numbers whenever he's healthy, he's always got some of the best. He's always got a great ERA. He's got great numbers, and he just can't stay healthy.
It's a shame. I mean, guys like that, what a great pitcher he is. Can you imagine if he was healthy all year? I think Texas would probably be, top 2 in that division instead of being in third,
Stacy Northrup says, I'm going to see the Rangers-Yankees game tomorrow. Let's go Yankees. Well, for your sake, I hope you see like 2 or 3 Judge homers and a Soto bomb, and since you got well, the Rangers have nothing to play for. They're out of it.
Yeah, have fun, Stace. Have a good time with that.
Yeah, so all right. So I'm looking here. NL East, Philadelphia Phillies, 81-56. 7-game lead, 7-3 in their last 10. So they're 7 up on Atlanta. Huge week. Last week was a huge measuring stick week with Houston and Atlanta coming in. They took 5 out of 7 at home, so that was big.
Yeah.
Atlanta Braves, 74-63. They're 7 games back. They're third in the wild card, but they're only a half game up on the Mets. So the Mets, 6-4 in their last 10. Then you got the Mets, 74-64. They're 7.5 out of the division, only a half game behind Atlanta for that third wild card. They are 7-3 in their last 10. And then you got 2 teams playing out the string. You got the Washington Nationals, 61-76, 20 games out. They don't have shit to play for, although they do have a few good young players. I mean, if I'm a Nationals fan, at least you have a little bit of hope for maybe a year or 2 from now. You got the Marlins. I like that kid that they was that kid James Wood, I think they called up.
Yep, James. Yep.
He had a moonshot off somebody here a couple weeks ago. I forget. I think it was Hoffman actually.
Okay.
He had one like Ashburn Alley. It was like, I mean, a dude could have been buying a cheesesteak and got hit on the damn head. You know what I mean? So. And then you got the Marlins, 51-86, 5-5 in their last 10. They're 30 games out. They are fucking hideous. They're like 2 years away from being 5 years away. You know what I mean? They're trash.
Well, right now the Mets are in actually Boston's playing the Mets right now. Hey, Mets win that. You never know. I mean, they could, if Atlanta, I don't know. Atlanta's playing Colorado right now, so we'll see what happens there. But you never know, Joe. You never know.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'm saying the Marlins are trash. Meanwhile, the Phillies play the Marlins 4 games this week. While I'm talking all this shit, watch the Marlins take like 3 or 4.
This is this is true.
All right, so you got NL Central. You got the Milwaukee Brewers, 81-57, 7-3 in their last 10. I'll tell you one thing that's really impressive about them is here's a team that traded their number 1 starter going into the year. They traded Corbin Burns to Baltimore, and yet they're still playing unbelievable baseball. I mean, that just goes to show you They have a really nice team out there in Milwaukee.
Yes, they do. Hey, Joe, was it your AL Central last year that you were crying about that was horrible? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Now, not as bad as you thought, was you, Joe, from last year?
No. So now we got the Cubs in second, 71 and 67, 10 games out, 8-2 in their last 10. You got the Cardinals 69 and 69, 12 games out.
They're a 500 ball club all year. That's what they've been pretty much all season.
5-5 in their last 10. Yeah.
Yeah, and the team you thought was going to jump on that division is sitting in fourth.
It's ironic. The Cardinals 69 and 69, and they're very equal. They're equal givers. You know what I mean? 69, yep. 69. They're 500.
They're a 500 ball club. That's what they've been all season. Like I said, but the team you thought that was going to rock that division, not so much, Joe.
No, and you know what though? I think I'm a year off on my Reds. I think the Reds will make a jump next year. The Reds and the Tigers are two teams to watch next year.
Okay.
Reds are 66 and 73, 15 and a half out, 4 and 6 in their last 10. And then you got the Pirates bringing up the rear. And I'll tell you, I'm afraid to ever say anything good about the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Because every time you do, they don't do anything.
Yeah, right around the All-Star break, like they were in the running for like a wild card or whatever. Paul Skeen's like the face of baseball, and then the All-Star game comes. I think they went like 1-9 in their next 10.
Yeah, but if you look at that 1-9, Joe, the last 10, they lost a lot of games by like one run. It's like they didn't like to get blown out, but I mean, they competed in those games, just couldn't finish. You know.
Yeah, I know, but what's the only thing that count? What's the only thing that's good? And there's two things that's good at being close in, right? It's horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
All right, so
no, but a team that started off so well as Pittsburgh did, and all of a sudden they just like died. That blows my mind. It really does.
All right, so then we got, like I said, the Pirates 64 and 73, 16 and a half out, 4 and 6 in their last 10. So they're, they went in the shitter. Sorry, I jinxed you. All right, so then you got NL West. You got the Los Angeles Dodgers, led by Shohei Ohtani, just absolutely crushing the baseball. 83 and 55, 7 and 3 in their last 10. Then you got the Padres, as we touched on before, 79 and 61, 5 games out in the division, 6 and 4 in their last 10. You got Arizona Diamondbacks, the team that no one wants to see, 77 and 61, 6 games out of division, holding down the second wild card, but they're moving fast on San Diego, 5 and 5 in their last 10. San Francisco Giants, 68 and 70. 3 and 7 in their last 10, 15 games out. Giants are just the epitome of mediocrity. You know, they are. They have a decent team, but Barry Bonds just isn't walking through that door. You know,
this is true. I can't argue that.
Then you got the Colorado Rockies, another team that just totally suck ass. 51 and 87, 4 and 6 in their last 10, 32 games out. I mean, they're just. Thank God they got some good ganja out there because that baseball team sucks.
Hey, not as bad as the White Sox show.
Well, that's true, but so they blow. Then we get to the AL East. The AL East is an absolute dogfight between.
I love this division. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, you look. Not only is it a dogfight for the division, but you got Yankees and O's dogfight for the number 1 seed overall, and then you got the Guardians right there. Fighting for the so you got 3 teams fighting for the number 1 seed.
Number 1 seed. Yep.
And then how would you like to be the division loser of the AL East? Because not only are you not the number 1 seed, but then all of a sudden you got to go the wild card route.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
So Yankees 80 and 58, half game up on the O's. 5 and 5 in their last 10. Baltimore's 80 and 59, 5 games back, 6 and 4 in their last 10. Red Sox 70 and 68, 10 games out, 3-7 in their last 10. They've kind of gone in the shitter a little bit.
Red Sox kind of, they did. I
kind
agree.
of fell off a little bit. Tampa Bay Rays, 67 and 70. They're 12 and a half games out, 3-7 in their last 10. And then you got the Toronto Blue Jays, 67 and 72, 13 and a half games out. Big time disappointment this year, but they are 6-4 in their last 10, and they're beating the Phillies' ass tonight, 6-1, bottom of the second, and they got first and third with one out. So this has the makings of like a 12-15-1 type game, you know.
And Colorado Atlanta's no score third inning.
What happened?
So Colorado and Atlanta are no score in the third inning.
Okay. All right. So we go to the AL Central. Like I said, from the outhouse to the penthouse this year. AL Central so much better. You got
It's amazing, Joe. From last season, when you were dogging this division, it was so bad, and all of a sudden, it's just a year later. Look at it; it's amazing to me. Just amazing.
Yes, you got Cleveland Guardians. I mean, like I said, they're always going to be the Indians to me. Sorry, 79 and 59, 6-4 in their last 10.
Maybe Joe Boo's waking up. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, exactly. Minnesota Twins, 3.5 games out, 75 and 62. They're 4-6 in their last 10.
I'm not counting them out, Joe, in this division. I got to be honest. I mean, the Twins are just like they're a funny team. You just don't know that sometimes they're hot and sometimes they can get hot at the right time. They really could.
Yeah. So then you got Kansas City Royals, led by Bobby Witt Jr., 75 and 64.
Slipping a little bit, Joe. Slipping. They're slipping. You got to come on, Kansas City. Wake up. Let's go. Got to get going.
Yeah, they're 4-5 in their last. I mean, I'm sorry, they're 4.5 games out. 3-7 in their last 10. So they're leaking oil a little bit, but they're still in the running.
They're still in the running. Yep.
Detroit Tigers, 70 and 69, 9.5 games out. 7-3 in their last 10. And again, the story of the Tigers to me is that pitcher Skubal, who might win the Cy Young, and also they are a dark horse, as I said before, for 2025. I mean, to me, 2025, it's all about 2025 in Detroit. I think they're going to have a much better team.
I agree.
So, and then you got bringing up the rear, you got one of the all-time worst, hideous, shitty-ass teams in the history of baseball, the Chicago White Sox, 31 and 108. I mean,
is this the worst team? Is this Joe? I didn't look it up, and I really wanted to. I get a chance to, but is this the worst record ever in baseball?
You know what? It's probably close. I mean, they're 0-10 in their last 10. They got 17 people going to games. Remember the commercials with Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt, where they talk about, here comes the train coming?
Yes.
All right, well, White Sox fans have a mixture of seeing that shit each night, or they're Robin Ventura getting their ass kicked by Nolan Ryan.
It was funny.
I mean? 31 and 108. Like your team's fucking hideous.
So I was at my mom's last night, and I was telling her the story about the White Sox only having 17 people in the stands. She goes, that's sad. She goes, that is real. She goes, I feel so bad for them right now. I'm like, yeah, I do too. I mean, I
took my son. I was over at Pickup USA before I did the Sully spot. I was over at Pickup USA playing basketball. There was more than 17 people.
No, Joe, honestly, if you lived in Chicago, okay, and you saw the White Sox struggling like they are, being 31 and 108, and somebody asked you to go to a White Sox game, would you go?
If that joint was for free and somebody else was driving and I could just sit there and get buzz.
I mean, would you go to see just see the other team? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. There's not really too much to do. I mean, south side of Chicago, there's not too much. I mean, it's not exactly the safest place in America. You know what I mean?
No, true.
And think about that shit. Not only that, but then they got to deal with that dog shit ass team. I mean, think. You know what I mean? Like you're basically getting your ass kicked every day, like Robin Ventura.
Joe, they are 48.5 games out of first place.
Yeah, so that's almost impossible. So, all right, well, let's get to the AL West here.
That's crazy.
And then we'll get ready to wrap it up here.
Okay, good division.
The Houston Astros in first place, 75-63. They're 6-4 in their last 10. And then you got the Seattle Mariners, 69-69. Wow, another team that's equal opportunity.
500. Yeah.
69-69, 6 games out, 5-5 in their last 10. And this is kind of funny too. They're 41-28 at home and 28-41 on the road.
Yeah,
they're weird.
Not a road team.
Then you got the Texas Rangers. I mean,
very upsetting. Very upsetting. Yeah. I mean, you just won the World Series last year. You think you'd be in the running, or at least be in it.
You know what it is? They had a nice. I mean, they had a nice team. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like they're an example of a team that just got hot at the right time. Like, yeah, I mean, I got to give them their props because they won last year.
Sure.
But I really didn't. I mean, and maybe it's a violation for me because they are the world champs. They deserve to be the world champs. But to me, I don't know anybody that really thought they were like the greatest team last year. They just got hot.
Hot at the right time happens.
And I firmly believe that the Phillies would have beat them. But hey,
I don't know about that, Joe. I mean, didn't the Phillies start with them last season and lost all three games?
Yeah, but that's started. I mean, that's the first three games in April. You know what I mean?
That's true. Good point.
I don't know. But, hey, you know what? Regardless, they won. They deserved it. So
hey, they were the champs. I mean, right now they're still the champs until somebody wins it.
Yeah. So, all right, 2 more teams here. We got the Oakland A's, 60-78. 15 games out, 5-5 in their last 10. And you know what's funny? Like, you look at a team that's 60-78, and like, believe it or not, I actually think they're better than people thought they were going to be.
Yeah,
I mean? Like, they're compared to what they were last year. Like, they're actually better than people thought.
Didn't they come to Citizens Bank Park? It's like 2 out of 3 for the Phils.
Yeah, and that guy Rucker, like, he hit like 50 million home runs. Like, I think he had like 4 or 5 homers that series.
Yeah, he had a good. I remember he did have a good series. That was a trade deadline, wasn't it?
Right before the All-Star break. Yeah, so close enough.
Okay, gotcha.
Then you got the California Anaheim Angels, 57-80.
Troutless, Joe. Troutless.
3-7 in their last 10. That guy spent a lot of money. Well, he did lose Ohtani, but Rendon makes a lot of money. Trout makes a ton of money. He's always hurt.
But they weren't winning with Ohtani either, so it's not like it,
Yeah, so they're 17.5 games out, 3-7 in their last 10. Angels fans, they gotta be pretty disappointed. You know what I mean?
I would be. I mean, when you had Ohtani and you had Trout and you still didn't win anything with those two, kind of blows your mind a little bit.
And Trout always gets hurt. And when I think of injuries, I think of my man Jason Fine, a.k.a. Attorney Big Al. Like I said, Mike Trout don't need him, but if you get hurt on the job, make sure you give this guy a call. He'll get you paid. Motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workers' compensation, or, like I said, personal injury claim. 3 office locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. He's got 1 in Philadelphia, 1 in Cherry Hill, and 1 in Pittsburgh. So if you get hurt on the job out there, man, make sure you call my man Jason Fine. He will get you paid.
Attorney Big Al.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the breakdown. And I feel bad. A little abbreviated show, but but at least but a great time of year. I mean, these next few weeks, all the pennant races are going to be out there.
It's gonna be fun to watch that wild card spot. I'm really interested in the wild card between San Diego, Arizona, Atlanta, and even the Mets. I mean, somebody's going to get in the wild card spot in that last spot. I really want to see who it is. I'm interested.
Yeah, so good luck. And I know a lot of fantasy football drafts were just out there. I know some people play fantasy baseball, so anybody that plays I don't. It's too long for me. But if you do it,
fantasy football, Joe. Bad draft for me.
Well, you never know, dude. A lot of times people think they have bad drafts, and here they have a good ass team.
Well, I had the 12th pick, so Joe, I didn't have much, to go with. So I got what I could.
Well, listen, one of the reasons I have to run is, speaking of fantasy draft, I have one more. I have one more league that I'm in, and my pick's up in 3 picks. So
Good. Good luck, Joe.
I gotta bounce. So anyway, good luck to everybody's teams out there, and we'll see you all in a couple weeks. Have a good one.
See y'all later.
Later.